Hey Cali gang, what it do? All right, so today's reaction, we're gonna get into it's called the beef. Sorry, the beef that YFN Lucci spins on the ops from Stay Safe World on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. I can't even remember how I came across their channel, but yeah, they always give me something to watch. YouTube is always really good entertainment. All right, so check them out. Just want to give them credit right quick. But first thing is first, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you know if it's when I post, kept up to dates. All right, help your girls' dreams come true of becoming a full-time YouTuber. I hit monetization. Now the real work begins. All right, my next goal is 5K subs, and I can only do that with your help. So if you don't mind, please like the video, comment something nice, and subscribe and turn the bell notification on so you know if it has to when I post and kept up to date. Sorry about that. Possible giveaway coming in December or January, so you have to be subscribed for that. So be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for the rules and everything else because I post on the community tab pretty often. But yeah, so let's get into it. So it's YFN versus 4PF, the secret war in Atlanta. Y'all, Atlanta always has something going on. Like literally, this is never a dull moment out there. Okay, so let's get into it.
December 10th, 2020 seemed like a normal day in southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Old heads were on the block washing their cars. People were celebrating coming up on pandemic stimulus checks. All in all, things were looking up in the residents of the city area. Little did they know though, everyone's lives
said people were happy they got their PPP money. I'm sorry guys, I can't.
It was extremely suspicious because when you see an over $200,000 Maybach SUV in the trenches, unannounced, straight lurking, with windows tinted darker than Michael Blackson. At first, the people in the neighborhood thought nothing of it, but then when the car stopped in the middle of the road,
not the tint darker than Michael Blackson, y'all, the tint was unseeable. Okay, you could not see through that shit. Okay, but yeah, when a almost $1 million car hits the hood block, we all looking at that girl. All right, we're like, who is that? What are they doing here? They must be lost. Like, well, anyway, sorry guys.
Best believe everyone noticed when two shooters flung the doors open and already started shooting. This moment would forever change the rap world because unbeknownst to everyone involved, apparently it was none other than the multi-platinum rapper YFN Lucci driving the SUV. And when one of his shooters who was with him was critically hit and left to die, it was his name that came up as a suspect just 1 month later in January 2021. There's no exaggeration when I tell
y'all, not one of the shooters getting shot and then naming the other shooter. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? So 2 shooters for the job, 1 got hit, so 1 tells on everyone. Really? There's no honor amongst thieves anymore. There's no honor, there's no respect, there's no nothing. It's every man for themselves. Like, literally, it's like, okay, we're gonna do this plan, do this thing, but if something goes down, I'm snitching on everyone. That's not gangster, sir. That's not hood. That is not nothing. I can't believe that they said that. Like, wow. Sir, I can't.
Y'all that the situation in Atlanta right now is crazy.
We've learned a music megastar, YFN Lucci, has surrendered on a gang racketeering case.
Damn it.
Tonight with a developing story. Atlanta police are on the scene of a triple shooting, and one of the victims is a teenager. The shooting happened outside
Oh, wow.
a shop, and tonight one victim is clinging to
Yeah,
life.
that's not right.
Literally insanity. Within the past 24 hours, this video of YFN Lucci's shooting dropped on WSB-TV. But then, a short 5 hours later, the infamous DA, Donnie Willis, who is the boogeyman to all these street gangs in Atlanta's metropolitan area, in a surprise move, released a statement advocating for YFN Lucci's early release. And literally a mere 2
What?
hours after that, Lil Baby's business partner from his seafood restaurant, The Seafood Menu, was gunned down in his Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Jesus.
While in his car in a busy portion Atlanta police are still searching for
So sad.
responsible.
While the connection between all three of these instances isn't completely known, some things just seem a little stranger than coincidence. But what we do know is it's summer and in the city of Atlanta, it's going crazy right now. The YFN Lucci story might be reaching its final chapter with its release imminent. The real reason as to why they were even trying to end someone's life that day was far more complicated, with a web of gang ties with some of the world's biggest rappers in YFN Lucci, Young Thug, and Lil Baby. So today, we gotta talk about the beef that caused YFN Lucci and his shooters to spin on 4PF in 4K in broad daylight right now. But before we do, I need you to run this.
Y'all, not in broad daylight. Broad daylight, really, y'all? Like, y'all don't wait till the night anymore? No shame, no guilt, no nothing. Just broad daylight. Anyone can get it. Nobody's safe. And then the afternoon, in the corner. Really? Come on, y'all. I can't.
For me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that link in the description for merch. And if you're a real Stay Safe World member, man, watch this vid all the way through. Let's get into this. Chapter 1, Part 1.
They said in broad daylight. Sir.
Atlanta is fluid. When people think of gangs, they think of blue versus red in a black and white sense. However, the gangs of Atlanta are way more complicated than that. With Bloods beefing with Bloods, some Bloods clicking up with Crips, or even people who were close with each side just trying to stay out the way and not get involved.
Why it gotta be so complicated? Why? Like, I don't understand. I was gonna say something, but I can't. Let me just turn the thing back on.
Stuff that doesn't concern them. In this case, though, the story starts with one gang in particular, YFN, or Young Fly Ninjas, a group from the Summerhill area of Zone 3 with alleged ties to the Inglewood Family Bloods gang based out in Inglewood, California. The Family Bloods originated in Inglewood, obviously, and is one of the oldest blood sets, and essentially set up shop as a franchise in Atlanta back in the late 80s to 90s. So many highways running through the city of Atlanta, the A is basically like a...
Not them. Not them acting like the gang is like a business. Like, oh, we franchise in Atlanta, but originally Inglewood, California, or wherever in LA, basically. Like, come on. Oh my God. They said they franchised in Atlanta. Like it was a restaurant or something, like a flagship store. Oh Lord, the South is a whole other. They have their own thing, I guess.
Which can easily help sets if they're trying to get their money up in different locations and regions. YFN Lucci, or Rashawn Bennett, as he was known before, grew up in the Summerhill area and had close ties with members of IFGB. He was originally a football player with ambitions to make the league, but when that didn't work out for him, people around him like his brother and his brother's best friend, Big Nut, encouraged him to take rapping seriously. That's when they first formed YFN, not as a gang, but as a label, music group, to build each other up and blow up. But while YFN Lucci was starting to enter the rap game, there was another rapper from the area already starting to make waves in the Atlanta scene with his flamboyant dresses and hard songs. Jeffrey Williams, as we know him as Young Thug, also came up very close by to YFN's neighborhood, but in the Jonesboro projects in Zone 3. Coming up was pretty much straight poverty. Thug had no choice but to either rap or crash out or go to jail. During this come up, he became associated with a group called Rock Boys, or ROC crew. ROC standing for Raised on Cleveland, also known as Raised on Cleveland, a large street that goes throughout the city. You know, baby Kia, I was on Cleveland right now. That's how it is, you know. The area is known for gang activity and violence, so it's honestly a miracle that Young Thug was able to escape and become a world-renowned artist if you really think about it. Young Thug and members of the ROC Boys would allegedly be associated with an...
I hate that they use that analogy. Like, oh, Young Thug, he's from where YFN is from, and if he didn't get into the rap game, he would have perished in the hood, this and that. That's like every person in the hood. Like, stop it. At the end of the day, everyone deserves a chance to better their life, period. It just made me mad that they said that. Like like his story hasn't been told before. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys.
Another blood set called SMM, Sex Money Murder, a set originating as a one-off on the East Coast. They would later go on to form YSL Venom, which they themselves stated was not meant to be a gang, but an organization of like-minded creatives with the goal of lifting themselves out of the poverty through music and creativity. You know, truly humble under God type beat. While a lot of the members of YSL were alleged drug associates, it was really like a hybrid group because several members of the California gang, the Rolling 60s, had members in YSL or had close ties to YSL, which leads us to the next person in this, Lil Baby. Four Pockets Full, aka Bank First Play Later, or currently known as CBFW or Can't Be Fucked With, is a clique of Rolling 60s based out of the Oakland City area. Lil Baby being known from his group as the most successful rapper, one of the most successful rappers to even come out of the city in general. This group has always been known to stay out the way and try to focus on getting bread, but they aren't really pushovers, obviously. Similar to the other rappers we mentioned, Lil Baby was always known for being a hustler. He documents long nights, winning thousands of dollars on dice games, basically came up on the streets. As you see, many people around Lil Baby have lost their lives, so he wasn't really thinking about rapping like that, but was just trying to get money and trying to make it out. Being in and out of these settings, he gained a close relationship with several YSL members like Gunna, who he talks about taught him how to rap, and Young Thug. Lil Baby even credits Young Thug to basically forcing him to take rap seriously. Thug saw Baby's potential and the way his life was going and basically paid dude to stay out the streets and just focus on making music. Like, imagine.
Hold the phone. So you mean to tell me YFN and Young Thug are from the same area, right? And then Lil Baby actually knows Young Thug, and Young Thug was like, yo, bro, take this music shit seriously. Wow. We have a little full circle moment there. Okay. All right, I'm here for that.
One of the biggest
We love that.
is paying you to get out the streets. It is crazy. Ever since then, Baby and Thug have been tight, with Lil Baby being one of the most vocal rappers and supporting Young Thug in his case. That close relationship would end up playing an important role in the craziness that will later go down between these three groups, which we get into in chapter 2, the hit on Big Nut.
The hit on Big Nut.
2015,
Who is that?
YFN Lucci spent the last couple of years writing successful mixtapes and getting buzz throughout the city. At the same time, Big Nut linked with his manager, who was also managing Rich Homie Quan at the time. Back in those days, Rich Homie Quan and Thugger were dropping bangers, and everything was all good. You know, YFN and YSL kind of coexisted. However, one
I remember that time.
Castleberry Hill area of Southwest Atlanta would change everything for the worse in the city.
What happened? Another shootout.
Is clinging to life. Channel 2's Jessica Jaguars is live at the scene where there's still a very heavy police presence.
In January 11th, 2015, shots rang out at a Southwest Atlanta barbershop at McDaniel Street. When the dust cleared, police found that Big Nut,
even go
aka
get your hair cut.
Thomas, was killed while two other people, a 14-year-old and another man in his 20s, were shot, but had non-life-threatening injuries.
Jeez. 14?
Believing that YSL something to do with it. For some reason, it was up in the air who called it. As Young Thug's trial progressed recently, details about the night became available to the public. Police believe that Young Thug had some type of responsibility in the hit due to the fact that he allegedly rented the 2014 Q50 Infiniti sedan that police believed was used in the shooting. This evidence is also the main thing that prosecutors are trying to prove, evoking testimony from professional snitch YSL Woody, who we made a video on. However, it was not certain, since just because Thug rented the car out to his friends, it doesn't technically make him responsible for what people did in it, even if they did. At the same time,
Sir. Yes, it does. If someone rents a car in their name and someone else uses it, they are responsible for whatever happens in, on, and with that car, the person that rented it in their name. So yes, it is whoever's responsibility the car is under their name, it's their responsibility. So if YFN goes to jail or prison for something someone else did in a car that he rented in his name, it's his fault because it's his responsibility. It's in the contract, sir. Sir, do people not Google or anything prior to making videos or do any research on anything? Has Stay Safe World never rented a car before? Trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying to be very nice with this. Like, That statement really made me mad. Like, yes, if the car is in YFN's name and he gives the keys to one of his friends and they do some dirt in it, something illegal, and it's brought back to the dealership or the car rental place or wherever, and it comes up in a crime later, whoever the car's name is under, that's their responsibility. It's in the contract. And they say that to you in person before you sign the contract. They tell you read it over. Like, come on. Please fill me in the comments, you guys. Please fill me. Please hit the like button. Sound off in the comments. Like, seriously, I cannot believe that they said that. Oh, even if he did rent it in his name, it's not his responsibility. Yes, it is his responsibility. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, yes, it is.
Professional snitch YSL Woody, who led police to believe all these details from the shooting from over a decade of snitching to law enforcement, has changed his tune and basically
wow.
on the fifth on all this, and also said that he lied to investigators to protect himself. Regardless, YFN Lucci and others from YFN definitely felt some type of way, and a major split took place in the Atlanta rap scene. At the time, people had to either choose between YFN or YSL. It's probably at this point how 4PF took the side of YSL.
Oh, wow.
Made sure to distance himself and take the side of YFN. Which brings us to the next chapter, YSL versus YFN.
Oh shit, YSL versus YFN.
Every 2 weeks when we work every day with earnings.
Oh, Lord.
YSL versus YFN. Shortly after the Big Nut murder, tragedy struck not one time, but 2 more times. It seemed like YFN Lucci was being targeted
2 times.
because his house was shot
2
on
times.
2 separate occasions, bro. Like, what did
Damn.
to make them this mad? One of which resulted in his mom getting shot in the leg while he's in the studio. Shortly after this,
Wow.
Lucci and YFN members would catch Rolling 60s member Lil Duke lacking at Magic City. Video footage shows them running up to him just getting away by the skin of his teeth.
Jesus.
Lucci would then take a step.
That is one thing I'll never understand, you guys. These people, because, you know, there's some women, gang members and things like that as well. These people live this crazy lifestyle, right? Whatever it is, gang affiliation, music, just anything that's not considered like a regular normal life. You know what I mean? Like a regular 9-to-5 life, you know, regular. They don't really put any, well, they might, but they don't put as much protection in for their family or their home space that they need to. You know what I mean? Like their places are always getting robbed or shot up, or someone in their immediate, like close family, something is happening to them. That's one thing I'll never understand. Like if you're gonna be out there living this life, doing those things, you better have the money for the protection and everything else in between for your family while you're gone. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that really breaks my heart, and it sucks and it's sad because the family did not sign up for that life. That's the life that this individual signed up for that had nothing to do with their family. You know what I mean? Maybe they signed up for it because they didn't get what they felt they needed from home, so they go out in the world to get that, you know what I mean? And that's probably where the whole join the gang or whatever mentality comes from. But still, like, that's messed up. It's sad, and it just makes you think, like, do they not think about that kind of stuff? Sorry, I had to get that out. Just, what do you guys think?
Publicly beefing with Young Thug on social media, insinuating that he smashed his then fiance on Twitter. Bro, this was just a crazy ass time to be a rap fan. They got people crashing out on the internet like there's no tomorrow. Thug was basically playing it all cool online and basically seemed to shake it off on Twitter. But in real life, he had a very different perspective. Things cooled down, allowing for both of these sides to reach their highest peak in their careers. But in 2019, tragedy almost struck again when YFN Lucci had his G-Wagon shot up in Atlanta, almost injuring a friend who was driving it. Years would go on with both sides trading distance online. The crazy...
See, there we go. Another instance of, you know, the friend not being involved and they're getting the consequences, the repercussions of someone else's actions. I don't understand that. They don't think about that kind of stuff. They don't consider anyone else's life situation, anything like that. They're just like, oh, I'm stuck in this whatever it is, I need to be hood, I need to be gangsta, I need to be in this life, I need to do this, I need to do that. But in reality, you don't. You really don't. But yeah, that's messed up. His friend basically got hurt because he was driving his car. Yeah, messed up.
Probably being got him pulling up on YFN Lucci's car while he was at Lenny Square Mall shopping, and bro just stood on top of it and posted it on Instagram, bro. It's crazy. It was not really certain what happened beyond the scenes. I dragged 4PF deeper into this though, but many point to the obvious friction with all these groups beforehand. 4PF clicking up with YSL and a fellow Rolling 60s member Lil Duke getting ran up on and basically clowned, which brings us to 4PF versus YFN in the next chapter. While everyone was distracted by the YSL YFN beef, it seemed that YFN Lucci somehow became active with 4PF. On January 10th, 2020, YFN Lucci and a group of 4PF members apparently got into some disagreement at a strip club in Atlanta. It's not sure if it was Magic City, but it seems in the way that it was described, it could have been. It more than likely was an issue with them for all the reasons that we talked about earlier. The next day, Miami rapper CP3...
Is that strip club cursed? I really am trying to figure it out, because that's like the second or third time like I heard of an incident happening at that strip club, even though, like, of course incidents happen all the time at strip clubs. This is a strip club, okay, shit happens. But makes you think. If anyone knows, or if there's any dancers in the comments, let me know, because I'm your girl's kind of curious, not gonna lie.
Another shooter named James Adam then decided to pull up over to Oakland City to look for his ops and commit the worst drive-by of all time. For some genius reason, they thought it was a good idea to pull up in their own car. You know, even dumber than registering a rental car in your name, and try to murk members of 4PF. Unfortunately, they returned fire, killing James Adams, who was then thrown out of the car and left at the scene. It's really crazy. The bystander 911 audio came out. You can hear a woman...
Y'all, one of YFN's peoples was hit during the situation. Their body was thrown out and the driver drove off. What the entire fuck, you guys? Like that, oh my god. That's so heartbreaking. Like thinking about that is really heartbreaking, because I know that people in situations like this feel they have no other option and this is what they have to do. They literally put their life on the line every day for a cause or purpose that is beyond them. It's really sad. It really breaks my heart that happened to them, even though they put themselves in the situation they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. It's just messed up and crazy. There's no loyalty. Nobody is loyal to anyone anymore, like at all.
Basically try to save his life and be with him for his last moments. It's really heart-wrenching that you can just leave someone who went to slide for you, but that sort of shows the mentality in this war. Nothing really positive goes on. No smart decision making. Just crashing out because you have money and hoping you can get away with it with a fire lawyer Hail Mary. The aftermath has been pretty bad as well, with Young Thug getting locked up for a RICO investigation stemming from the murder of Big Nut. Lil Baby's restaurant co-owner just got smoked while sitting in his Rolls Royce Cullinan car outside his restaurant. It's not 100% if that has something to do with it, but the timing of everything is just so weird and crazy. But at the end of the
timing's not weird, and it's not a coincidence.
Stay out of the street stuff. Like, it's one thing to come out of that, but it's a race to the bottom when you make millions of dollars and come up and then go back, revert, and get more active than you were.
Exactly.
Money, man. It's honestly insane. And there's so many other things that you could be doing with your bread, but obviously this isn't what they're thinking, because otherwise they wouldn't be facing life for 20 years, 10 years, or whatever. Since then, YFN Lucci basically pled guilty, got a plea deal, ended up leaving, and is actually in like a halfway house or something like that, or in some type of transitional period. At the same time, Vanity
Wow.
has basically come out championed for him to actually get early release, which is honestly crazy if you think about it. Like, what are the odds, especially in how crazy she was trying to like stop them? And just on the same day that the video came out, it's like, bro, did you see the video of what happened? Because when you watch the video, you're like, damn, this is crazy. How is someone like this even out? But I guess he did spend a better part of almost a decade in jail, so hopefully he learned his lesson. Hopefully
Yeah.
more crazy stuff. But man, pray for the families that are involved. Hopefully they
Facts.
find out who did the dude that was in the seafood restaurant and stuff like that. Figure that out, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. Real estate station, you already know what's going on. Like,
Y'all, that is crazy and messed up and crazy. Let me know what you guys think. These hood beefs, brat beefs, just all these beefs are honestly very pointless in so many ways. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know if it is when I post, get up to date. Bye, guys.